Um, so I'm going to talk about offense today and tomorrow. And so I have offensive philosophy, and I think it's important that every coach has something that they believe in, offensively, defensively, and they have something that works for them. And I think it's important that you believe in your philosophy, but at the same time, you have to develop your philosophy for your team. And when do you want to talk?
When you're ready.
Okay.
Okay. Oggi e domani parleremo della sua filosofia offensiva, della sua filosofia d'attacco. Secondo il coach è importante che ciascun allenatore abbia la propria filosofia e che debba fermamente credere nella propria filosofia, nella propria idea di gioco.
There have been a lot of coaches that have changed over the years. I'll give you an example. Don Nelson, all-time winningest coach in the NBA. When he was in Milwaukee as a young coach, he was a defensive coach. The Milwaukee teams were one of the best defensive teams in the league. As he got older and he went to Dallas and he went to Golden State, he became an offensive coach. And so he changed his philosophy of coaching. He changed what was best for his team and was very successful as a defensive coach or an offensive coach, depending on the players that he had.
Gli allenatori devono abituarsi a cambiare. Fa l'esempio di Don Nelson, un allenatore che ai tempi dei Milwaukee Bucks era praticamente un allenatore dalla mentalità difensiva e successivamente negli anni, una volta che è andato a allenare squadre come i Golden State Warriors, è cambiato e ha iniziato a utilizzare una mentalità prettamente offensiva. È stato capace di lavorare in ottimo modo sia con una mentalità difensiva che offensiva e questo dimostra quanto è importante per l'allenatore poter cambiare.
I think it's very important to know that there isn't one best way of doing something. There are a lot of coaches who do it different ways and who are very successful doing it their way with their team. So there's not one right way. But I think as a professional coach, not a youth coach, but as a professional coach of a professional team, your job is to maximize the talent that you have, offensively and defensively, and to develop the talent that you have. Those are to me, whether it's the NBA or the LBA or whatever it is, you have to maximize the talent you have and develop the talent that you have.
Ovviamente non esiste un solo metodo corretto per poter allenare, ne esistono variegati e dipende ovviamente dalle varie situazioni, dai vari contesti. È importante però da allenatori professionisti, qualunque sia il livello, che possa essere NBA, Serie A e così via, la cosa importante è quella di poter massimizzare il potenziale dei propri giocatori, poter sfruttare al meglio tutto il talento della squadra.
So, with the offensive philosophy, this is something that I really believe in. I believe that with the offense, you really have to give your players confidence to make basketball plays. I think when you are negative, when you're pounding them, it takes away their confidence. And they have to have the ability to make basketball plays with confidence, to shoot with confidence. And to me, my job as the head coach is on the offensive end is to give the team a structure, whatever that structure is, whether it's 5 out, whether it's a post up, whatever it is, whatever your belief is, give them that structure to play. But then, more importantly, give them the freedom to play. Tell them what they can do rather than what they can't do. I think that's very important that they play with that freedom.
È importante avere una corretta mentalità, una corretta filosofia offensiva per far sì che i giocatori possano giocare con sempre più fiducia in se stessi. Ovviamente se qualcosa va storto in campo e la squadra inizia a essere negativa, tutto questo porta via tanta confidenza alla squadra, quindi è importante che la struttura offensiva abbia un regolamento, si possa seguire appunto una struttura per far sì che i giocatori possano giocare con tanta fiducia in se stessi e con tanta libertà in campo.
And I meant to tell you, if you have any questions, ask questions now. We don't have to wait till the end. I prefer that I went to a clinic one time where the coach, Stan Van Gundy, who you may know, he came out and just did a whole clinic of answering questions. So I think it's very important if you have something that you want to know and I can help you with that, that's better than me just talking and talking. So feel free to ask questions at any time.
Sentitevi liberi di fare domande in ogni momento durante la presentazione. Fa l'esempio di una vecchia presentazione di coach Stefan Gandhi che si è basata soltanto sul botta e risposta tra le domande del pubblico, quindi siate liberi di alzare la mano e fare la domanda che preferite.
So a lot of this is common sense, but you got to put your players in position to be successful, and that depends on your team and your talent. If I have Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum, I'm going to put them in pick and rolls. Damian is better with the ball than running around. CJ could run around, but he could play off the ball. When I had Al Farouk Amino, we sat him in the corner because that's what he did best. Al Farouk Amino was not a good dribbler, but when he got the rebound, he'd get the rebound and he'd start dribbling, and everybody's going, pass the ball, but not me. It was like you had to give him, he knew his limitations, but you had to give him that freedom to make a couple plays and push the ball up and make a play, to give him that confidence that he was part of the team.
Per quanto possa suonare banale, è importante, tramite la propria filosofia offensiva, è importante mettere i giocatori in una situazione dove possano avere successo, dove possano migliorare, dove possano quindi sviluppare al meglio il proprio potenziale. È naturale che quindi se ho giocatori come Damian Lillard o CJ McCollum, gli permetterò di giocare il pick and roll. Fa l'esempio invece di un giocatore come Al Farouk Amino, che era capace di giocare principalmente negli angoli, e ogni volta che c'era la situazione dove lui poteva prendere un rimbalzo e partire cost to cost con la palla, subito tutti i compagni gli urlavano passa, ma lui era il primo a poter dire no, comunque è giusto che il giocatore sia libero anche di poter decidere da solo.
So part of that of putting in successful is having your players, you understanding what your players can do and what they can't do. Don't ask them to do things they can't, but understand what they can do. And not all the players are the same, but it's your job as a coach to make the pieces fit and maximize that talent. And along with that, I think this is very important. And I don't know, can you read that to him?
Yes. Prima di tutto dice, sta a voi soprattutto capire quali sono i ruoli, quali sono le potenzialità di ciascun giocatore. Non posso andare a chiedere ai miei giocatori qualcosa che non sanno fare, quindi devo mettere assieme i pezzi. E quindi è importante che i giocatori capiscano e accettano le forze, le debolezze di ciascuno in squadra, e solo in questo modo possono aiutarsi a vicenda per poter segnare.
So I think the most important thing in that is that they accept it, that the players accept what you are telling them, they accept what their strengths are, they accept how important is what they do for the good of the team, and having that understanding, I think, makes it for a better cohesion at the offensive end.
La parte più importante di queste frasi sta proprio nell'accettare. È importante che i giocatori sappiano accettare le forze e le debolezze dei propri compagni per poter creare un gruppo coeso e forte.
So I think for me personally, and this is, I think learning how to play two-man game and three-man game rather than always a five-man game. I think one of the things in my basketball philosophy is that how do you play when you don't have plays? Can you translate that?
Yes. È importante per lui cercare di inserire all'interno del gioco tante situazioni di gioco a 2 o gioco a 3, perché è importante iniziare a ragionare sul come faccio a giocare anche quando mi mancano i giocatori.
So, to me, having a style of play where we know how we want to play, but if I'm coming down and I say one up or horns or whatever, we're going to run a play. But more importantly is we run the play, then what do? That's when you're playing basketball. To me, you are playing basketball when you're not having plays. When you get a rebound, you come down and you're playing basketball. So to me, how you play basketball when you're not running plays is very important to your style of play. Now, you may come down and we're going to go and throw it into Shaquille O'Neal. Okay, that's our style of play. All right? When we're running and we have a good passing center, I had Usap Nurkic and Mason Plumlee, and they knew when they got the ball, it was going to be a DHO or a flip and a pick and roll. But they knew what they were going to do without a play. And they played together because of that understanding. So when you're playing a two-man game or a three-man game, and I'll just give you examples, pin downs.
Okay.
You want to use that?
È ovviamente importante poter dare una struttura di gioco alla squadra, ma è importante che una volta che viene chiamato lo schema, che possa essere two up, che possa essere horns e così via, l'importante in quel momento è che i giocatori giochino il gioco, che è lì che si sviluppa la vera pallacanestro. È naturale che se c'è un giocatore come Shaquille O'Neal giocherò un certo tipo di gioco, ma se ho altri giocatori come Nurkic o Mason Plumlee so che con loro posso sfruttare più un passaggio consegnato e situazioni simili.
So in these two-man game and three-man game, and you probably do this, but pin downs, flares, pick and rolls, splits, DHOs, stationary handoffs, pitch, flip, all these things become part of your identity in two-man and three-man game. And the way we would practice them is just play 3-on-3. If we had a player up here, or I'm sorry, we have a player here, player there, and a player there, and I got the ball, and we're going to work on splits. That's all we do, 3-on-3. Or I got the ball here, and we pin down, we curl and play. So just working on those 3-on-3 actions reinforces the style of play that you want to play, or that I want to play.
Sorry. Tutti i vari strumenti quali i pin down, tutte le situazioni di pick and roll, di passaggio consegnato, di stationary hand off e così via sono strumenti che possiamo utilizzare nel gioco a 2 e fa l'esempio del lavoro fatto principalmente di situazioni di 3 contro 3 per fare in modo che se un giocatore sta in punta, un giocatore in gomito, un giocatore sul corner, principalmente lavorerà su situazioni di split, giocherà su situazioni di ricciolo e pin down e così via.
So this is more for the NBA. Why don't you read these before I start talking about it?
Sorry.
Why don't you read that
Yeah.
before I start talking about
Okay,
it?
you want me to translate?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Come vediamo dalla slide, sempre riguardo alla filosofia offensiva, l'importante è prendere un vantaggio di tutti i possibili match-up individuali, di tutti i possibili mismatch individuali. La cosa importante è provare a fare questo anche al di fuori del flow della situazione, al di fuori della situazione del gioco. Meglio appunto in una situazione come questa collettiva piuttosto che in situazioni isolate di 1 contro 1.
But this is more for the NBA. I watched some EuroLeague games. I watched the games last night in the Italian Cup. There's not as much one-on-one going at matchups like when Sergio was talking about cambio on the pick and roll, and now you're attacking a matchup. For me, it's like, I know that's part of the game, but I liked having that happen late in the clock rather than early in the clock. Now in the NBA, I think too much that there is one-on-one early in the clock, but when you have great players like Damian or Kevin Durant, they're great players and they can take advantage of a matchup. I don't think that's quite the same in EuroLeague or in the Italian League where you have to rely on each other a little bit more rather than just one player.
Ci rendiamo conto ovviamente che sono mondi diversi, quello dell'NBA e quello della palestra europea. È normale che quindi una situazione magari di uno contro uno più isolato si presenta molto più spesso in NBA rispetto a ciò che può succedere nel campionato italiano o in Europa in generale. Fa riferimento a ciò che diceva anche il coach Cariolo, di attaccare nelle situazioni appunto di split in difesa, sulla difesa del pick and roll. Si rende conto che ad un livello NBA preferisce quella situazione più tardi, durante gli ultimi secondi del cronometro, gli ultimi secondi sul cronometro, ma si rende conto quanto in Europa siano situazioni dove bisogna contare sull'aiuto di tutti e 5 in campo.
Anybody have any questions?
Domande?
No? So I think this fundamentally, go ahead.
Iniziamo quindi a ragionare sul fatto che la difesa dobbiamo far sì che tramite l'attacco la difesa faccia delle scelte e dobbiamo far sì che la difesa faccia degli errori.
And I think the best way to make the defense make decisions is by setting screens. Obviously, if you have a matchup like Sergio had and it's one-on-one, that's a decision. But I think anytime you set a screen in a pick and roll, in a pin down, in a flare, that creates a problem for the defense. Or anytime that the defense commits two to the ball, whether it's doubling the post up or doubling the pick and roll, that creates a problem for the defense. And your job as a coach is to put the defense in situations where they have to make decisions on how to guard a pick and roll, how we're going to guard a split, how we're going to guard a pin down, how are we going to guard C.J. McCollum running off screens. That's your job as a coach, is to find out what situations makes the defense makes the decisions. How are we going to guard this? How are we going to guard that?
Il vostro compito come allenatori è quello di mettere appunto la difesa in una situazione nella quale debba prendere una decisione, e questo lo possiamo fare attraverso l'utilizzo dei blocchi nelle varie situazioni, sia di pick and roll che di pin down e così via. Dobbiamo mettere la difesa nella condizione di doversi domandare, di doversi chiedere: come faccio a difendere questo, come faccio a difendere quel giocatore, come faccio a difendere quell'uscita dal blocco. Dobbiamo metterli in una situazione dove devono fare delle scelte.
We'll go through these quickly, but I think these are all concepts that are important, and you'll probably just need to read them, okay? Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Ok, come vedete alla slide, i concetti offensivi principali sono quello di enfatizzare in qualche modo la corsa per ogni giocatore durante la transizione. Un altro concetto importante è quello di un buon passaggio che possa portare a un tiro migliore, il movimento della palla e dei giocatori nella metà campo, ottenere dei buoni tiri da 3 punti da buoni tiratori, fare in modo che la squadra si possa aiutare a vicenda con dei tiri che non siano egoistici, la possibilità di leggere sia lo spazio e il tempo dei propri compagni sia nei post-up che durante le penetrazioni, e infine dei set offensivi, delle giocate che possano incoraggiare il gioco di squadra.
So I'll quickly just touch on some of these. As far as transition, if you want to be a running team, you don't need to have a fast guard. You need to have a guard who passes the ball ahead. If you have a guard that passes the ball ahead, like Jason Kidd or Steve Nash, then guys will run. If you have a guy who's fast with the ball and everybody's behind him, you're not going to be a running team. So to me, the most important thing, if you want to get out in transition, you need to have somebody who can pass the ball ahead and make good decisions. John Stockton, Jason Kidd, and obviously in the NBA it's different, but I think if you want to run, that's important.
Partendo dal primo punto, appunto legato alla transizione, se vogliamo una squadra che corra è importante avere giocatori che lanciano la palla, che fanno correre il pallone, giocatori alla Jason Kidd, alla Steve Nash. Se ho un giocatore che va velocissimo con la palla, tutti i suoi compagni resteranno indietro. Abbiamo invece bisogno di giocatori che possano mandare avanti il gioco.
The next two, I think, what I see in Europe and EuroLeague is, I think passing the ball has always been a strength of European basketball. I think Americans are getting better, but I think the way you teach basketball really emphasizes team play, passing and moving, And so for you in Europe, I think good passing and player and ball movement, I think you got European game. We have taken a lot from the European game over the years, and the players that have come into the NBA. I had Boris Diaw, for example, in Atlanta, and he understood how to play the game, how to pass, how to move, and I think that's something that the European game is very good at.
Passando al secondo e al terzo punto, vediamo il concetto del movimento di palla e del
JPEG.
poter creare dei buoni passaggi.
JPEG.
È una cosa che è molto legata alla scuola europea, fa appunto riferimento al fatto che tanti giocatori passando dall'Europa all'NBA hanno portato queste skills, hanno portato questi insegnamenti, quali per esempio Boris Diaw che ha potuto allenare ad Atlanta.
So this is one thing I was curious about three-point shooting. You know, in the NBA, three-point shooting has really gone up. And so you see the NBA is in the yellow and the EuroLeague is in the blue. And so you see how European basketball was ahead of the NBA as far as shooting threes. I think now the NBA is catching up. So I think that the European game was ahead of the American game. I think from watching some of the games now, they're shooting further out. You know, Dame and Steph Curry are shooting out here. The line is a little bit further out. But I think when we talk about three-point shooting, the European game was ahead of America as far as shooting threes. Coach Marco told me in 2010, is when they moved the line back in Europe. So they moved it from here to here. And in 1 year, there was a drop in Europe, and then it kind of went back up. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the wrong one. That one. In 2010, you see how it went down for 1 year when they moved the line out, and then it kind of stayed at the same pace, whereas the NBA is just keep going up.
Passando al concetto del tiro da 3 punti, ci fa vedere appunto questo grafico dove possiamo vedere il paragone della percentuale di tiri tentati da 3 punti tra NBA ed Eurolega. Come possiamo vedere, l'Eurolega è sempre stata leggermente avanti rispetto all'NBA. Coach Marco Rammondino faceva notare come nel 2010, quando è stata poi allontanata, leggermente allargato il tiro da 3 punti, c'è stato un leggero calo nelle percentuali per poi far sì che si riprendesse l'ordine.
And then this is just the three-point shooting percentage over the last 15 years. And I think that's interesting. You look at the EuroLeague, and it took a dip in 2010 when they moved the line back, and then it improved, and then for some reason it went down. You know, the NBA is just kind of going up in between 36 and 37, but the EuroLeague has changed a little bit depending on the line and the style of play.
Qua vediamo invece il grafico che riguarda la percentuale di canestri segnati da 3 punti. Anche qua vediamo come in Europa ci sia stato un leggero calo dato lo spostamento della riga, e vedere come poi negli ultimi 15 anni, le due leghe siano comunque abbastanza ravvicinate per percentuale.
Let's see, the last thing from this slide is, to me, the second from the bottom, spacing and reading your teammates on post-ups and penetration is really important in the NBA game. And I think watching the EuroLeague games is reading the situation. If I'm penetrating the ball, I want this guy to come over here and fill behind, not just stand over here and say, hey. But if he's driving down, now I fill behind. It only has to be 3 meters. But at least if you move, now that gives him a chance to move up, or maybe he cuts. So understanding the spacing and reading in the offense with penetration, with post-ups, with anything like that.
Passando al concetto delle spaziature e delle letture in campo, fa riferimento al fatto di quanto sia importante, specialmente nel tempo, sia in NBA che in Europa, la capacità di poter leggere quello che fa un compagno sia in situazioni di penetrazione a canestro sia in situazioni di post-up, facendo l'esempio di una penetrazione appunto verso il centro, verso canestro, per far sì che i compagni senza palla possano quindi adattarsi, non restare fermi sul proprio posto, ma muoversi per far sì che se io mi muovo do possibilità al mio compagno di muoversi e così via.
And can you read that?
Sure. Passando ai concetti successivi, vediamo come appunto i set offensivi devono avere un vantaggio basandosi sulle forze di ciascun giocatore. La struttura dell'attacco deve basarsi appunto sulle opzioni del lato debole. È importante che un attacco tenga tutti quanti coinvolti. È importante anche sviluppare un senso del tagliare a canestro e del bloccare. Usare situazioni appunto di isolamento durante gli ultimi secondi del cronometro invece di usare i primi secondi del cronometro, quindi giocare verso la fine dei 24. Eseguire anche in situazioni dal time out e nei break da un quarto all'altro, quindi avere subito le azioni da after time out e situazioni speciali. Questi sono i punti che andremo a vedere.
Any questions on all this?
Domande?
I know it's a lot of stuff. So to me, in your offensive philosophy, is now this comes down to teaching it, and coaching in the NBA. A lot of the players are very talented and they have a good idea of what they want to do. But I still think, even in the NBA, I have to tell them I want to screen and I want to screen on the low side, or the timing of a play. You have to teach team basketball because, especially in America where it's not as, you do a better job of probably teaching team basketball than we do in America. But to me, screening and using screens is probably the most important thing in basketball. I mentioned earlier, you create a problem by setting a screen. How to set up your man for a screen, how to time your screen, the angle of your screen. All those things, on-ball screens, off-ball screens, flare screens, pin downs. I think there's so much that can be done out of screening. And the luxury, from what I've seen, is in Europe, you're able to set better screens than we can in the NBA. So I would really take advantage of opportunities to set screens. The off-ball movement, I watched the game last night, 2 games last night, and I thought both teams, Bologna, I thought they had a lot of movement. I thought Reggio Emilia had a lot of movement, and it was fun to watch. It was different sets, but getting your players to move, but understanding not having movement just for movement. I think some coaches like to have all this stuff going on, but what are you getting? I think it's important that you kind of know what you want to get out of something. In the NBA, it's a lot more quick hitting actions rather than 15 seconds of running around. It's 1 or 2 actions and then get into your play.
È importante insegnare alla squadra a giocare di squadra. Fa riferimento al fatto che nonostante in NBA ci siano giocatori che sono già costruiti e hanno già un'ampia conoscenza del gioco, anche in NBA ci si ritrova a dover insegnare come fare un blocco, come posizionarsi, quando posizionarsi. I concetti importanti su cui facciamo riferimento sono infatti quelli di fare blocchi e saper leggere i blocchi, muoversi senza palla e creare appunto movimento, perché è importante appunto, come ha potuto vedere dalle partite di ieri in Coppa Italia tra Reggio e Bologna e così via, squadre che comunque hanno dei set offensivi dove è richiesto molto movimento di palla. Dice che appunto in Europa abbiamo una capacità di insegnare bene i blocchi e tutto il movimento senza palla, mentre in NBA viene richiesto più 2 secondi veloci per diciamo sistemare il gioco per poi da lì creare pallacanestro.
Just quickly, pick and rolls with movement. Obviously Sergio did the pick and roll defense. There are many ways to guard pick and rolls, but I think from an offensive standpoint is have movement. If I'm just standing here with the ball and you just come up and set a screen, there's no movement, and the defense can set its defense. So they know what's coming. But if you create, I go and set a screen here, and he runs into the screen, that's some movement. If I have the ball here, and I DHO here, and then this guy comes up and sets a screen, that's movement. I would, and you'll see on the video, for me, I think one of the more important things is reading whoever is guarding the screen. Is, let's say he's coming up and I'm setting a screen. What's he doing? What's he doing? Is he up like Sergio? Is he going to switch? Is he going to be back? So reading this defender, I have to set a screen. But reading this defender is the most important in a pick and roll. And creating some movement where he cannot get into his coverage is the most important thing. So have a play where you're going to screen him, or what you'll see on the video, if I'm setting the ball is over there, I set a screen here for a flare, he goes off, he helps on the flare, so now he's back there, now I can go and set a screen, and the defender's way over here. So occupying the screener's man with some movement is very important in pick and rolls.
È importante legarci al concetto del movimento in campo, specialmente con l'utilizzo dei blocchi. Non vuole situazioni statiche dove il palleggiatore sta fermo con la palla, il bloccante arriva e si esegue il pick and roll. Propone situazioni variegate dove appunto posso prima proporre un pin down, un movimento senza la palla, un blocco lontano dalla palla per far sì che poi il bloccante possa venire e farsi coinvolgere nel gioco. È importante anche coinvolgere il difensore del bloccante, far sì che quest'uomo possa restare appunto impegnato in difesa per creare situazioni favorevoli all'attacco nel gioco a 2 o nel gioco a 3.
And then the last one, we've already talked about 2-man and 3-man actions. So the biggest thing for me is that the game has changed, especially in the NBA. I think the NBA and European basketball are kind of coming together. You see the lane, the three-point line out, 24-second clock. So I think the games are coming together, but the game has changed, particularly in the NBA. There's a lot more switching. There's a lot more reads. There's a lot more playing basketball instead of running plays. When I came out of college, you ran a play, and you ran the play, and you ran the play. Now it's much more about read the situation. In defense, we would always, okay, they like to run this play, they like to run that play. Now, it's like, well, they like to run DHOs, they like to run pin downs, they like to run pick and rolls. So it's more about situations than it is running plays.
Il gioco nel tempo è cambiato e continua a cambiare, sia in NBA sia in Europa, infatti entrambe le modalità di gioco si avvicinano. Si rende conto che nel tempo il gioco non chiede più ai giocatori di partire da situazioni statiche, di partire da situazioni prefissate, ma chiede al gioco più movimento, chiede al gioco più situazioni, non è più soltanto uno schema fisso.
So quickly, I talked about that. Coaching at different levels. I don't know how many are Euro coaches here or youth coaches, but I think your coaching changes depending on the talent that you have. And one of the things I've always believed in is when talent is low, coaching is really important because you're in charge. As talent goes up, coaching kind of goes down a little bit. So in the NBA, talent's up here. So coaching is important, but not as important when you're teaching young kids. That's really important coaching. To me, like the sweet spot of all those is Europe and college, where you got talent's about here and coaching's about here, and it's kind of like the sweet spot of the intersection of talent and coaching.
Si rende conto appunto che col cambio nel tempo del gioco è importante cambiare anche il proprio stile di allenare. Si rende conto che appunto in base alla squadra che si ha e in base al talento che si ha cambia anche il nostro coaching style, il nostro modo di allenare. Se il livello della squadra è un livello giovanile, è un livello basso, è normale che il livello da allenatore, proprio la propria capacità di allenare deve essere qua in alto perché si è responsabili per la squadra. Man mano che si alza il livello e il talento della squadra si deve abbassare il livello appunto dell'allenatore, non nel senso che si deve appunto essere allenatori scarsi, ma nel senso che bisogna adattarsi al talento della squadra e bisogna trovare quindi il balance, l'equilibrio in quelle zone dove il talento dei giocatori si incrocia con il talento dell'allenatore.
Can you read that?
La squadra, quindi appunto i giocatori della squadra andranno sia a dettare il gioco per far sì che appunto si possa estendere verso appunto i concetti che verranno enfatizzati. Quindi i giocatori che abbiamo andranno quindi a decidere il nostro lavoro in campo.
So this is the last thing, and I've talked about, coaching your team. And, if you're fortunate, in the NBA, you have to tailor your offense for your team. I mean, I could come in and be one kind of coach, and I'll use George Karl as an example. We were in Seattle for 6 years. We were a great defensive team. We were a great defensive team. We went to the NBA Finals. Then we went to Milwaukee, and we weren't a good defensive team, but we were a really good offensive team. We had a lot of shooters. And he changed. We went from Seattle, and we thought, well, we'll just do in Seattle what we did in Milwaukee. Well, it doesn't work like that because we didn't have the players. When you have Gary Payton and Sean Kemp and Detlef Schrempf, you can play one way. When you have Sam and Ray and Glenn, you play a different way. And we ended up being a very good offensive team and very average at best defensive team. So that number one point, tailor your offense to your team, is really important. Tailor your defense to your team as well. If you have the luxury in college where you recruit your players and say, I have this system and this is what I like to run and I'm going to bring you in because this is what we do. That's a different, and then you might tweak it a little bit.
È più importante adattare il proprio gioco alla squadra o la squadra al proprio gioco? In base al livello nel quale posso allenare andrò a lavorare su questi due concetti. Se sono un allenatore di college, se sono un allenatore giovanile e posso scegliere i giocatori e adattarli al mio sistema di gioco, allora posso adattare la squadra. Se invece fa l'esempio di quando allenava insieme a George Karl ai tempi dei Seattle Supersonics e successivamente dei Milwaukee Bucks. Insieme a George Karl ai Seattle Supersonics la squadra era principalmente con una mentalità difensiva e una volta che lo staff si è spostato a Milwaukee hanno pensato di poter adattare lo stesso sistema alla squadra, ma passando da giocatori come Sean Kemp e Gary Payton a giocatori come Ray Allen sono dovuti transitare verso una squadra più offensiva visti i tiratori che avevano.
And then the last thing, I think almost every coach believes in this. Transition baskets, get in the paint, free throws, three-point shot, open shots. But it depends on your team. If you do not have three-point shooters, you're not going to be a three-point shooting team. If you don't have a point guard who's going to pass the ball ahead, or if you don't have runners, you're not going to be a transition team. If you don't get rebounds, you're not going to be a transition team. If you're a jump shooting team, you probably won't get a lot of free throws. But if you have somebody like Damian, who gets in the lane and creates fouls, or Giannis Antetokounmpo, you're going to have free throws. So I think everybody agrees with the analytics that this makes sense, but the reality of your team, when I was in Portland, every year we were in the middle of the pack for pace of play. That's just who we were. I don't think it was my coaching. I think it was just like Damian had the ball, and that's where we were. It was middle of the pack for 9 years.
È importante per tutti gli allenatori avere questi concetti di transizione, di attaccare il pitturato, di andare verso a prendere falli, quindi tiri liberi, tiri da 3 punti e tiri aperti. Però non possiamo avere tutti questi concetti nella stessa squadra. È importante conoscere la squadra che abbiamo, perché se non ho un giocatore che fa volare la palla, che fa andare velocemente il pallone, non posso giocare transizione. Se non ho giocatori che attaccano il ferro come Damian Lillard, non posso ovviamente guadagnare tiri liberi. E quindi è importante conoscere la propria squadra e capire quali situazioni sono ottimali per il nostro contesto.
So now I'm going to show you a thumb series. We ran the thumb series in Portland, and we ran it for 9 years. We ran different actions out of the thumb series. So, but I want to tell you about the thumb series. Go ahead.
Andremo adesso a vedere una serie di video, una serie di giocate sulla situazione di pollice, sulla situazione di thumb.
So the origins of thumb. So go back.
Adesso andremo a vedere appunto una spiegazione sulle origini del gioco pollice.
To Magnano.
La slide principale è quella su Magnano.
If you go
Indietro. Eccola.
There you go. You know the shift
Qua.
thumb. So I first saw this set in 2002, and do you know who this coach is? Anybody know who that coach is? Yes? No?
Sì, sanno.
So he's Argentinian and he's Italian, and he coached the Argentinian national team, and he ran this set for Ginobili, and it was very simple, but he'd have Ginobili come this way, he'd look to get the ball this way, he'd get the ball, then he'd come back with his left hand, or he'd come this way and get a pin down and then come back to his left hand. And so I saw that in 2002, but I didn't put it in until I became head coach in Portland. And I started with the basics, and the reason I want to show you this is I start with the basics, but then you can build on it. So, next slide.
Spiega appunto come le origini della situazione
Pause.
di pollice partano da Ruben Magnano, dalle situazioni che ha potuto vedere già all'inizio degli anni 2000 per creare situazioni in vantaggio per Manuel Ginobili, per poterlo mettere in una situazione dove potesse sfruttare la sua mano sinistra. Ha iniziato a osservare ed è partito poi dalle basi della situazione per poterci costruire sopra.
So these are all reasons why I like the thumb series, and I think it's a series that works at all levels. I think it'd be great in Europe. I think it'd be great in college. A lot of college coaches ask me about this set. Nobody else runs it in the NBA, but I think it's good at all levels.
La situazione di thumb è ottima per tutte le varie categorie, che possa essere all'NBA, all'Europa, a livello collegiale giovanile, perché crea movimento in campo.
Did you read all that?
Come vediamo appunto la situazione pollice crea movimento, come dicevamo, porta a opzioni multiple, è ottimo come abbiamo detto per tutti i vari livelli, e può portare poi a variati set offensivi di variazioni e combina azioni di gioco sia a 2 che a 3.
Next clip. Go ahead.
Le situazioni di pollice possono quindi far sì di adattarsi alla propria squadra grazie alle situazioni di pick and roll, di movimento senza palla e di post-up.
And then the next clip. Go ahead.
E appunto porta poi a situazioni di gioco su entrambi i lati del campo, che possono essere i pin down, i flare pick and roll, le situazioni di scambio in split, passaggio consegnato in movimento o statico, le situazioni di pitch e di flip.
Next clip. Okay, can I have the blue team?
Tutti i blu? All of them?
5.
Solo 5.
I need a point guard.
In punta?
Take your time. There you go.
Con calma, con calma.
Let me have 4 and 5 here.
4.
4 e 5, and 2 and 3 in the corner. It doesn't matter. You're over there.
Nell'angolo.
You're over there.
Nell'angolo.
Good? Okay. So, in this set, This is the 4 and the 5. It doesn't matter where they start. 4, 5, 5, 4, doesn't matter.
Non importa dove sono 4 e
2,
5.
3, 2, 3. Doesn't matter.
2 e 3, non importa chi dove, chi dove.
So, let me do. Hang on a second. So the point guard comes down, and we're going to start with the pin down. So it can be either way. So if I want you to do it, I'll point here and come over here. You're pinning down.
Quindi tu vai a fare il blocco verso l'angolo
Pin down, you come up.
e sali su, fuori dai
Come all the way
punti.
up.
Sali in guardia.
So I'm going to hit him. I'm going to get the ball back. Now it starts. Tell him it's very important that the reason I pass and get the ball back is so I have a live dribble.
Ok, è importante in questa situazione far sì di dare la palla e riceverla nuovamente per poter avere il controllo del pallone e attaccare.
So after I get the ball, you're going to go off him on a flare,
Quindi vai a fare flare, quindi
and
passi
you're going to
attorno.
pin down, and you're coming off him on a pin down.
E dal secondo pin down vado a passare poi in
Screen.
angolo.
Coming off here. So I look there, and then you go get him again.
E vado a fare blocco lontano dalla palla.
And then I look there.
E di nuovo
Okay?
risalgo.
So that's the flare, that's the turnout, that's the rescreen.
In questo modo possiamo creare il flare, il movimento di taglio sotto canestro, il
Let's go back
turnout e di nuovo riscreen sul
Let's
blocco.
go back there. Okay, so just stay here. Show the video.
Vediamo il video.
So pin down, stop. So pin down. We got the flare. Go ahead.
Ecco il flare.
And that's a shot. Okay, next clip.
Pin down.
Keep going. We got the flare,
Flare.
and then they play. And you can hit the roller. You notice that one of the things about this set is that there are actions on both sides of the floor. So the defense has to play this action, and the defense has to play that action. So there's open here, all right?
Una peculiarità di questo gioco è che le azioni avvengono sia su un lato che sull'altro del campo, così che la difesa possa essere impegnata sia a destra che a sinistra.
Go ahead. So here's pin down. We look at the flare. Keep going. And now we look at the turnout. So we can look at the flare, we look at the turnout for that play. Keep going. Pin down, catch. One thing here, pause it for a second.
Pause it.
Go back to the beginning. So in this set, what we did this year was Evan Turner was not a shooter, but he was a good playmaker. And so in this play, Evan has the ball, and we got Dame and CJ coming off flares and coming off pin downs.
In
So,
questa
go ahead.
situazione adattiamo il gioco con Evan Turner come buon playmaker, mentre che Damian Lillard e CJ McCallum possono muoversi senza palla attorno ai blocchi.
So we got the pin down, hand back, flare, turnout, and there's no help because they're worried about the flare. Next one. Go ahead. Pin down, he doesn't get the catch. We still have the flare. We have the turnout, nothing there, and we play. So all these are the same thing. Now we get to the rescreen. Go ahead. Pin
Vediamo la
down,
situazione di riblocco.
pin down, hand back, flare, turnout, rescreen. So we got another rescreen. Doesn't get it. Flare, turnout, pin down, rescreen. Now it helps that when you have really good players too. Okay, so let's see you run it.
Proviamo a giocarlo.
Either side.
Scegli tu il lato.
Flare, turnout. Yeah, you go shoot. But if you were, bring it back.
Rifacciamo.
Same thing.
Uguale.
And when I say stop, stop.
Quando dice
When I
stop,
say
vai,
stop,
vai.
stop.
Vai, non ha detto stop. Vai.
Go ahead. Come on. Hit. Okay, wait.
Stop.
So you have to wait because he's looking at that. first. So you kind of hang out. So he looks at that, you go off.
Dobbiamo
Now
aspettare
you
prima
go.
il flare e poi il turn out.
And you wait, and you go down, all the way down. You look for that, it's not there. Now you go. Now you go pin him.
Quando non c'è niente vado, mi giro e vado a bloccare per il compagno.
See? So you go 1, 2, 3. Okay, here we go.
Riproviamo. Ok.
Flare.
Vai, flare.
Turnout.
Yes.
Rescreen. Good.
Boom, guarda.
Good. Good job.
Bravi, bravi.
Good job. Any questions on that?
Domande?
No? Okay. So, next thing, be ready to pause. So you got to read the defender.
Adesso leggiamo la difesa.
Okay. So run the play.
Via col video.
Pause. So he's going over the top. So it says defender over the top. So when he's going over the top, that means the flare has a chance. Go ahead.
Vediamo la situazione di flare,
Next clip. Tab.
perché la difesa passa sopra.
Okay, again. Hit. Pause. Over the top. He keeps going. Go ahead.
La palla passa sopra i difensori.
And run that back. Run that back.
Andiamo indietro.
So earlier when I said about how do you play without plays? So go ahead. Stop it when after he makes the pass. So keep going. Okay. Stop. Okay, so now that's the play. But now what's important, what I said about how do you play after the play? And to me, this is how you play basketball, you know? He goes over, he gets the catch, he doesn't have anything, now what? Now what do? You hit the 5, you play off of him, you play a two-man game. To me, that's playing basketball. Go ahead.
Questa è una buona situazione che ci fa capire come è importante giocare a pallacanestro. Una volta che inizia l'azione, dopo che è iniziata, come la continuo, cosa faccio?
Next clip. Okay. Pause. Defender, he's going over. Oh, does that have a laser?
Yeah.
No. Okay. So now he goes over the top, and then he goes, go ahead. So then you have a lob.
Ecco il lob.
And again, you see how they're worried about that side, run that back. They're worried about C.J. McCollum coming off that side, so they're worried about that, and then we happen to get the lob here.
La difesa si preoccupa del lato debole dove c'è McCallum che esce fuori dal blocco e non si preoccupa quindi del lob.
Next clip. This is the same thing with the, can you pause it? Can you take, there you go, thank you. So same thing, we got the lob here. Run that back, and you'll see in the next clip, when I said occupy, when you're running a pick and roll, you want to occupy the screener's man. So now, pause it, watch the center who's guarding Usap Nurkic. He's worried about the lob, so he comes back here. So now, and he knows that sometimes we're going to send him into a pick and roll too. So he's worried about that, but he's also worried about that. So you got two different things, but you're occupying the screener's man. Go ahead.
Osserviamo come è importante tenere impegnato il difensore del bloccante perché in questo caso andrà a eseguire un contenimento perché è preoccupato sia per il lob che per il gioco sul pick and roll.
Again, reading okay, pause it. Now he goes under. Number 5, Cinque, he goes under, and CJ reads it, so now he pops back. Go ahead.
Andiamo a vedere una situazione dove la difesa passa sotto e quindi l'attacco può rigiocare sopra.
And again, screening is very important. Again, he's going under, pause. He's going under the screen, CJ pops back. So when you're teaching three-man game, we would play games, three-man games, where, like, does anybody know Alan Crabb? Anybody know Alan Crabb? Alan Crabb.
Alan Crabb.
Yeah. No?
Qualcuno conosce Alan Crabb?
Nessuno? Okay. He made $75 million because he could do this. He could come over here, and he could read here, and he could shoot. Or he could come over here and go over here, and he could shoot. $75 million because that's what he could do. So teaching that, he spent many hours figuring out the footwork, when to go here, when to pop back here, when to go over here and fade over here, just the different footwork to get to an open shot.
Fa riferimento a Alan Crabb, giocatore da 75 milioni, semplicemente perché sapeva fare questo movimento di uscita e lettura dei blocchi, sapendosi posizionare col movimento di piedi, perché imparava e sapeva lavorare appunto sulla lettura del blocco.
Okay? So, when we call thumb 2 or thumb 3, if we say thumb 2, the two-man is going to catch it.
Se chiamiamo la situazione di thumb 2, di pollice 2, la guardia, il 2, dovrà andare a ricevere palla.
Okay, so now he's the two-man, okay? So we're going to run thumb 2. So, pin down.
Blocco.
You get the catch.
Vai a prenderla.
Catch it here. Now, you're going to, 2 is going to be the point guard. So now he goes over here. Now, I go off the flare. So it's thumb 2, and it's the same movement, but now, so this was Damian Lillard, we would have CJ get the catch, and then Damian would go off the screen. So you could put players in different spots. Thumb 2 fist, thumb 3, whatever, and you'll see. So go ahead.
Rivediamo la situazione.
So CJ's the 2, we look at the flare. Thumb 2, flare. So it's a way of getting Damian in a different situation than always being up top.
CJ gioca da 2 per far sì che Damian Lillard in questo caso possa giocare su posizioni differenti del campo.
Pause it. So their teams were so used to playing Damian up here as we'd run thumb fist. So they're thinking it's a pick and roll, and they're used to Damian hitting the ball there and getting it back. So now we do something different to change things up. Go ahead.
Le squadre erano talmente abituate a vedere Damian Lillard giocare la point guard che da lì abbiamo iniziato a cambiare i giochi e permettergli di giocare anche senza palla.
So the flare's not there. Now we look at the turnout. Run that back again. Watch what I told this player down here. What I told you.
Ok, adesso al giocatore sotto canestro che
So,
vediamo i tempi di azione.
Go back. Okay, so watch CJ on the
CJ
baseline.
McCallum sulla linea di fondo.
So we run this, go ahead. He gets the catch, pause it. Oh, anybody know who has the ball right now? He plays in Italy right now. He's playing tomorrow. Napier. So anyway, you see how CJ is waiting. The flare, he's looking at the flare, go ahead. He's looking at the flare, and now he comes. So there's a little bit of a pause. You see that?
Vediamo come appunto i giocatori hanno la pazienza di giocare perché prima osservano sul flare per poi aspettare il turnout.
All right, go ahead. Okay, pause it. So we would run, I mentioned Evan Turner, so thumb 3. So like I said, Evan wasn't a good shooter, but he could make good decisions. So now we run thumb 3, you pin down.
Adesso abbiamo thumb 3.
So now we have, up here. So now the 3-man has it, and for us, that was CJ and that was Damian. So now you got your 2 best shooters and a good passer up here who's not a good shooter. So when Evan was in the game, we ran thumb 3 a lot, so he could be in this position, and Dame and CJ could be in that position. Go ahead.
In questo modo potevamo appunto creare questa situazione col 3, Evan Turner, che potesse prendere possesso della palla e lasciare liberi Damian Lillard e CJ McCallum di muoversi lungo la linea di fondo o la linea laterale.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, this will be the last thing. How are we doing, Coach? How are we doing on time?
Abbiamo tempo ancora? Coach? Roberto? ci
Coach
abbiamo tempo?
Marco, how are we doing on time? Time?
Please go ahead. They came here to listen to you, not to me. They know me.
Okay. What do you think? How much more? 10 minutes? Okay. All right. I was worried about my eye. Okay. All right. So running pick and rolls out of thumb. All right. So go back over here.
Vediamo le situazioni di pick and roll dalla situazione di pollice.
And just remember, like, we run it to this side, we can run it that side. A lot of times when we wanted to run pick and roll, and this was our 5-man, our point guard knew how to get him in the ball screen. So let's say we run, what's the first play? Go ahead. Go ahead. Pause it. Okay, so this is just regular thumb fist. So go ahead.
Andiamo un pollice, pugno,
Okay, pause
thumb
it.
fist.
So Damian knows that he wants Nurkic in the pick and roll. So he goes opposite Nurkic so that, go ahead. So when he gets the ball back, pause it. See how far back the defender is? Because they don't know what to do. So now Dame has the ball and it's got a lot of space because he's worried about the flare. Go ahead.
Da una situazione del genere vediamo come Lillard sa di voler giocare col 5, quindi Nurkic, e una volta successo il pin down può tenere la palla giocando molto alto il pick and roll per avere molto più spazio per il tiro.
Again, thumb fist. Thumb, pause it. Now he's still got, so you look at the lane is very open because he's worried about that, he's worried about the flare, and the guy guarding Nurkic is back because he was engaged. Go ahead.
Vediamo stessa situazione dove si crea una linea diretta verso il canestro.
Go ahead. Next clip. Run that back. Watch the defender of number 17. Watch when, as he's coming off here, just for a little bit, he's here, and just for a little bit, he goes like this. And that little bit is all he needs up there to get a good pick and roll.
Vediamo come un'azione del genere poter tenere impegnato il difensore del bloccante crea un vantaggio, perché preoccupandosi leggermente dell'angolo per poi tornare indietro crea un vantaggio per l'attacco.
So now Damian has room to play a good pick and roll defense against good pick and roll. Okay, thumb 2 fist. What happens on thumb 2 fist?
Cosa succede adesso in thumb 2 fist?
And he's the 2-man. Thumb 2 fist.
Cosa può succedere?
Thumb 2 fist. Get 2.
Facciamo
Go
vedere
ahead.
palla al 2, alla guardia.
What do? No. You go off.
C'è fist, quindi pick and roll.
So thumb 2, you go off, and then what do? Fist.
E vado a fare il pick and roll, il fist.
Okay? So that's thumb 2 fist. Go ahead. So, go ahead. Thumb 2 fist. Keep going. Boom. That's it. There you go. Go ahead. So go ahead, video. So you guys watching the video? Thumb 2 fist. Go ahead, next play. Thumb 2. Now Damian's the 2.
Adesso Dame gioca la 2. e permette di giocare il pick and roll.
Run that back. So Sergio told me about, cambio. He didn't have an answer for that. He told me that. He said with McCollum and Lillard, it was too difficult. Go ahead, next clip. Paul, go back. I'm sorry, go back. So what we call 72 is, so we'll pin down.
Situazione di thumb 72.
Thumb 72, you would come and set a screen, and you come set a screen. There you go, and you go off the pick and roll, you fill behind, and you play. So, like this section right here is different ways to get to pick and rolls out of this set. So this was another pick and roll, thumb 72. Go ahead. Thumb 73, what would thumb 73 be?
Cosa succede su thumb 73?
The opposite, right. So he would come down, 73.
Il 3, quindi sali,
Set a screen, there you go.
stagger,
All
e
right,
via.
you roll, you fill behind, boom. All right, go ahead, thumb 72. Go back 2 clips, please. Per piacere. 2 more, 2 more. There you go. So thumb 72, go ahead. Those thumb 72, pin down, 2-man, roll, fill behind.
Roll, copre dietro.
Same thing, 72, set the screen,
62.
fill behind.
Blocco, resta dietro.
Now what we called reverse, let's go 72 reverse.
72 reverse.
So we got thumb 72, thumb 72, pin down,
Pin down.
72. Okay, now, stop. Reverse.
Reverse adesso.
So now,
Quindi,
you keep,
ritorno.
after you set this screen, you go away, you fake a screen, and then you come and get him. He's reversing. Now you come back here. All right? Thumb 72, reverse. Thumb. Yeah, keep going. Thumbs. No, 72.
Vai, fai.
Thumb, 72, reverse. Nice, there you go, good job. Go ahead, now show it on the video. So we got thumb, 72, reverse. There's again, thumb, 72, reverse. Pause it. What we called quick was a step-up screen. So let's go here. We got thumb quick.
Vediamo un po'. Thumb quick.
So you got, so you hit it.
Con una situazione di blocco step
Get
out.
the hand back. Pause it. Now what we called quick was, this was a quick screen. So this was a quick step-up. So thumb quick is for you, all right? So
Thumb quick,
pin
la
down, catch, get it back, quick. There you go. We also, for the most part, we had a rule where the 5-man almost always would roll, and the 4-man almost always would pop. So he would roll, 4 would fill behind.
Ci sono situazioni anche predefinite dove il 4 o il 5, viceversa, sono sempre i giocatori che rollano o poppano su.
Or if he came off the 4-man,
Se tu giochi da 4,
you would pop,
tu
and
fai
you would
pop
roll.
e tu invece vai sotto canestro e
But that was
rolli,
just a kind of a general rule for us.
come regole generali per la squadra.
Okay, so let's go thumb quick.
Di nuovo thumb quick.
Hold it, video. There we go. Thumb quick. Run that back. So I think it's very important when I talked about spacing and reading. So watch number 4. The guy who gets the catch. Go ahead.
Importante in situazioni di spacing e di
Okay,
lettura.
pause.
Vediamo il 4.
So this is the quick, and he comes off a Nurkic. But watch how number 4 or number 8, he comes back just a little bit for spacing, because we always wanted to give our point guards somebody to pass it to. So Damian comes off, Go ahead.
Quindi Damien va fuori dal blocco.
Go ahead. Pause it. See how there's an interchange, and then they're coming back to Phil behind to give him somebody to throw it to. Go ahead.
E torna indietro la difesa.
Again, thumb quick. And that was an example of playing basketball instead of running the play.
Questo è il risultato del giocare a pallacanestro una volta che è iniziata l'azione.
Okay. What? Okay. 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 Okay, last one. Last one. Okay.
L'ultima
The
situazione.
last one is, figure this out. Thumb, quick, reverse. Okay, so you're going to pin down. Thumb, quick.
Siamo qui come
Thumb,
prima.
quick. Quick. Now reverse. Boom. There you go. Go ahead. Do it one more
blocca.
time. Thumb, quick, reverse.
E proviamo.
There you go. There you go. Good. Okay, next, show the video. Thumb, quick, reverse. Oh, these last two are for Sergio. He left. But I put this on, these two were for Sergio. So anybody know the Spain action? Anybody know the Spain action?
Conoscete tutti Spain pick and roll? La
So
situazione in Spain.
Spain pick and roll, these are the last two clips. So it's a pick and roll here. You come down here.
Parti giù.
Usually it's a guard, but he comes off the pick and roll, and then you set a screen on his man, and then you pop.
Blocco il bloccante.
So
Salgo
that's
su.
what Spain is. That's what Scariolo made it famous with the Spanish national team. Go ahead. So I wish he were here to see this. Say that.
Che non potremmo farlo vedere a Sergio Scariolo che è andato.
Okay, pause. So CJ's coming off. So CJ's coming off the flare, and now he's going to come back up and set the Spain screen, the rip screen.
CJ va, riciola attorno al flare e va a riposizionarsi per il blocco.
So he comes off, pick and roll, he screens, they help, and then he's open. Because they both help.
Tutta
One
la
more-
squadra collassa e tutti vanno ad aiutare sul tagliante.
He comes back up. Okay, so we'll stop for now. There's more things, there's more movement, things like that, where I don't know if you'll be here tomorrow, but we can pick it back up tomorrow and watch some more. If you have any questions now, or if you can wait till tomorrow, that's fine too.
Per oggi ci fermiamo qua e avremo altro da vedere domani sicuramente, aumenterà il numero di video e delle situazioni. Se avete domande da fare adesso siete liberi di farle. Domanda?
Yeah.
Sicuramente ci sono molte similitudini tra il gioco NBA e il gioco europeo negli ultimi anni. Questa è una situazione infatti che vediamo giocare. Però quando guardiamo i set offensivi NBA, secondo me non dobbiamo, cioè c'è una differenza nel regolamento che ci impedisce di prendere o comunque adattare quello che vediamo da noi. I 3 secondi difensivi cambiano le spazzature, cambiano anche situazioni di isolamento. Volevo sapere cosa ne pensava a proposito.
For sure, there are a lot of similarities between the NBA game, the Europe game. The thing is, we can copy, we can take some of the stuff from the NBA, but
Right.
unfortunately, we don't have the same rules, like, for example, the 3 seconds rules
Right.
in the area. So what are your thoughts about that?
So my thoughts are, if you have, I agree with you that the defensive 3-second rule is a problem for us, for defense. It really is. But if I'm guarding one of these guys, and now let's just run thumb, and just
Proviamo
walk
di nuovo
through it.
thumb.
Okay, so let's say I'm guarding him. I'm guarding him up here, but I'm zoning up. All right, go ahead. So pause right there. So what if he curls? Or, I'm not in a position to help much. So I think it creates, when there's more help, I think it gives you more opportunities, actually. If you set screens, if you run your sets, because eventually he's going to have to make a decision to do something. And let's say we want to run a fist, and he's down here helping, and like Sergio likes to be aggressive on screens. So let's say we run a pin down here, pin down here, pin down here, go. And I'm guarding him. You go. Give the ball back. You go. Now you set a ball screen. So I'm here, I'm helping. Now what are you doing on the pick and roll? So I think it's different. If you help, I think good coaches can find ways to take advantage of that help. Just like I think coaches can find a way of taking advantage of teams that be aggressive. Go ahead.
Sì, ci sono ovviamente queste situazioni sulle quali è d'accordo che la regola di 3 secondi e altre regole possano portare appunto delle complicazioni e degli svantaggi, però con un buon movimento di palla e una possibilità di creare variate situazioni per coinvolgere gli aiuti difensivi può portare poi a delle soluzioni in attacco.
And one of the things that I do like about this is I think it is good at all levels of basketball. I think obviously Argentina they didn't run all this, but they ran some of it, and they won a gold medal. So I think it can be successful. I think it's up to the coaches to adapt to your team and to the rules and to your opponent.
Prendendo esempio proprio dalla situazione di Pollice, dalle situazioni che abbiamo visto, partendo dall'origine, da Mitre Magnano con l'Argentina, è un tipo di gioco, è un tipo di contesto, di situazioni che possono essere adattate a tutti i livelli di pallacanestro, tramite la quale appunto si può creare situazioni per avere vantaggio sulla difesa.
And the other thing I'll say is this isn't the only offense that we ran. We ran a lot of different things, but we might have run some thumb 10 or 15 times a game, in a 48-minute game. So I think this is a good offense to have in your package.
Ovviamente non è l'unico set offensivo che hanno, è naturale che possano utilizzare questi schemi, queste giocate tra le 10 e le 15 azioni a partita su 48 minuti e quindi è importante che un allenatore abbia questo tipo di situazioni più tutti gli altri pacchetti necessari.
So I agree with what you're saying, but I wanted to show you, I think the other part of it that I really like about it is it teaches your players how to play, how to set screens, how to use a flare, how to set up your man. I think all those things are good for this offense. And like I said, how do you play when you don't have plays? I think this sets things up. You'll see some other ones. But I think this sets a foundation for how you want to play.
Ritorniamo al concetto appunto di quanto è importante poter insegnare per i giocatori, quindi apprendere a giocare i blocchi o giocare appunto leggendo i blocchi, giocando con o senza palla, perché come posso giocare poi quando non ho giocatori, quindi sicuramente giocatori formati che sanno veramente il gioco.
And I could talk some more, but I have to go. I gotta go see a doctor about my eye. So,
any questions?
Yeah. Any other questions?
Altre domande? Altrimenti appunto lo lasciamo andare che ha una visita oculistica adesso.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you.